I worked on that construction site for 22 years. My name's Jack, I'm 52 now, and I showed up every single day. Rain, shine, cold, whatever. I wasn't just another worker. I ran that site like it was my own. I knew every corner, every crew member, every problem before it even happened. I didn't just do a job. I took pride in what we built together. I was the guy you called when things got tough. If something needed fixing, I made sure it got fixed. If deadlines were tight, I worked late without complaint. I wasn't just loyal. I was family. The boss trusted me because I never gave him a reason not to. For years, it was like we were all part of one team. I knew the ups and downs, the stress, the long hours. I didn't mind it because this was my life, my work, my purpose. I thought that loyalty counted for something. But then one morning, everything changed. After more than 2 decades of dedication, I got called into the office and everything I believed about loyalty and hard work was put to the test. I wasn't just someone who showed up and did the work. Over the years, I earned the respect of everyone on that site. The crew, the subcontractors, even the suppliers. People knew they could count on me to get things done right, to keep things running smoothly. When a problem came up, I was the one who found a solution. When tensions flared, I was the one who kept the peace. I didn't just follow orders, I made sure the whole place ran like a well-oiled machine. I took responsibility even when things went wrong. That's how trust is built, by being there when it matters most, by stepping up, by owning your part. The boss relied on me for that. He knew I had the experience and the judgment to keep the project on track. I wasn't just an employee, I was the backbone of that site, and because of that, I believed my job was safe. I thought that years of hard work, loyalty, and leadership meant something. I thought it meant that when tough decisions came, I'd be the last one to go. But sometimes, what you believe isn't enough. Sometimes loyalty isn't what the company values most. Sometimes what you've built for years can be taken away in an instant. For years, working there felt like being part of a family. The boss wasn't just a name on a paycheck. He was someone I trusted. Someone I thought saw me as more than just a worker. We shared jokes, tough days, even some hard-earned celebrations. It felt like loyalty went both ways. But as time went on, things started to feel different. The boss grew quieter, meetings got shorter, and the way he looked at me changed, like he was thinking about something else, something I wasn't part of. I tried to ignore it at first, telling myself it was just stress or the business changing. I kept doing my job the same way I always had, showing up early, staying late, solving problems. But deep down, I started to wonder if I was missing signs. Signs that maybe the place I'd given everything to wasn't the family I thought it was. I wanted to believe that years of loyalty and hard work meant something, that I was irreplaceable. But sometimes the people you trust the most have their own plans, plans that don't include you. I remember that morning like it was yesterday. I showed up to work, same as always, ready to get the day started. But then the boss called me into his office. I didn't think much of it at first. Maybe a new project, maybe some changes I could help with. When I sat down, he looked at me like he was carrying something heavy. Then he said, "We're moving in a new direction." Just like that. No warning, no explanation, nothing. I asked what that meant for me, and he said they had to make some changes. I waited, hoping he'd say I was still part of it, but the words never came. Instead, he said they were bringing someone else in, someone new. I sat there, stunned. After 22 years, after all the work, all the early mornings and late nights, it felt like it didn't matter, like I was just disposable. I didn't argue, I didn't yell, I just nodded and walked out, feeling like I'd been punched in the gut. That day, everything I thought I knew about loyalty and hard work shattered. The next day, I heard who was taking my place. His name was Kyle, the boss's nephew. 25 years old, fresh out of college, with no real experience on a construction site. I wasn't angry at Kyle. He was just a kid trying to find his way. But I couldn't understand how someone who knew nothing could step into a role I had spent over 2 decades building. I kept thinking about all the things I had learned the hard way, the long hours, the problems solved on the spot, the trust earned from the crew. None of that seemed to matter anymore. It was like all those years meant nothing, just erased overnight. I wondered if the boss ever thought about what I had given to that place, if he thought about the risks I took, the sweat, the late nights, or if family ties just outweighed loyalty and experience. I wasn't sure what the future held for Kyle or for me, but I knew one thing: nothing was the same anymore. And sometimes that's the hardest part to accept. I won't lie, the days after I was let go were some of the hardest I've ever faced. It wasn't just losing a job, it was losing a part of who I was. I kept asking myself why. Why after all those years, all the loyalty, all the hard work, did it end like this? I watched from the sidelines as Kyle took over. He made mistakes, plenty of them, but no one seemed to notice or care the way I did. It was like my experience was invisible, like it never existed. I felt betrayed, not just by the boss, but by the whole idea that loyalty mattered. It hurt to think that someone who had been there day after day, rain or shine, could be replaced by family ties alone. But more than anything, I had to face the reality that sometimes, no matter how hard you work, things don't turn out the way you expect. And when that happens, you have to find a way to keep going even when everything feels unfair. Loyalty is something we all value. We believe that if we give our best, if we stay committed, people will recognize it. I thought that's how it worked, that after 22 years I would be more than just a worker. I thought loyalty meant something real. But what I learned is that sometimes loyalty is not enough. Sometimes family ties and connections mean more in a business than years of dedication. Nepotism isn't just a word. It's a reality that many people face, whether they like it or not. It makes you question everything. How do you compete when the rules aren't fair? When the person in charge chooses family over experience? When your hard work can be overlooked because of who someone knows? This isn't just my story. It's a story that happens in offices, factories, and construction sites all over the world. It's a hard truth about the way some companies operate, and it's something we need to talk about. Because loyalty should matter, experience should matter, but sometimes they don't. Change is something no one likes to face, especially when it comes without warning. I spent so many years thinking that if I just kept doing my job well, things would stay steady. But the truth is, businesses change. They shift, they grow, and sometimes they leave people behind. It's hard to accept, especially when that change feels personal, when it feels like a betrayal. But change isn't always about you. Sometimes it's about new ideas, new directions, or just a different way of doing things. That doesn't make it any easier to swallow, but it helps to understand it. Resisting change only makes it harder. The question is, how do you handle it when the ground beneath you starts to move? How do you find your footing when everything you built suddenly feels unstable? It's not easy, but learning to accept change, even when it hurts, is something we all have to face. Because life doesn't stop, even when you want it to. And sometimes, moving forward means letting go of what you thought was secure. There's always a debate between experience and fresh ideas. I spent over 2 decades learning every part of that job, the risks, the challenges, the small details that only come with time. Experience teaches you how to handle things when the unexpected happens, how to keep calm under pressure. But sometimes, companies want new blood, someone with different energy, new ways of thinking. That can be good, too. Fresh perspectives can shake things up and bring change. Still, it's hard to watch when the value of experience is overlooked. When the lessons learned through years of hard work are set aside for the sake of starting over. Maybe there's a way to balance both. Respect the knowledge that comes from time and welcome new ideas. But when that balance is lost, people get hurt. People who gave their all get left behind. It's a tough reality, and one that's not easy to accept, but it's part of how the world works, whether we like it or not. Losing that job felt like losing a part of myself. For a while I didn't know what to do or where to go, but eventually I realized I couldn't let that define me. I had to find a way to move forward, even if it wasn't the path I expected. It wasn't easy. There were days when doubt crept in, when I wondered if all those years were wasted. But I started looking for new opportunities, new ways to use what I had learned. I reminded myself that experience doesn't disappear just because a job does. Slowly, I began to rebuild, not just my career but my confidence. I found that sometimes when one door closes, another one opens. It's not the same door you wanted, but it can still lead somewhere meaningful. It takes time, patience, and a willingness to let go of what was, so you can make space for what's next. And that's what I had to do, accept that change and find a new way forward. If there's one thing I've learned from this experience, it's that loyalty alone isn't enough. But that doesn't mean it isn't important. For anyone working hard, sticking it out, giving their best every day, you deserve respect. You deserve to be heard. And for employers, it's a reminder that people aren't just numbers or tools to be replaced. They're the heart of a company. When you make decisions that affect someone's life, it matters how you handle it. It matters to be fair, to be honest, and to show gratitude for the years someone has given you. To anyone out there who feels overlooked, betrayed, or left behind, know this: your worth isn't measured by how long you stay in one place or who replaces you. It's measured by what you carry forward, by how you pick yourself up and keep going. And to those in charge, remember that loyalty and experience build the foundation of any strong team. Don't let those things slip away without thought, because once they're gone, they're hard to get back. I never thought I'd be the kind of person who loses their job after so many years. It felt like the end of a chapter I wasn't ready to close, but looking back now, I see it as the start of something new. Life doesn't always go the way we plan. Sometimes it throws us curveballs that shake us to our core. And when that happens, we have a choice: either to let it break us or to find a way to keep moving forward. I chose to keep going, to find hope in the uncertainty, to believe that there's more ahead, even if I can't see it yet. Maybe my story isn't unique. Maybe there are others out there who've been fired, replaced, or forgotten. If that's you, know this: you're not alone. There's strength in resilience, in standing back up, in finding your way even when the path isn't clear. And sometimes that's where real growth begins. This is the end of my story. Thank you for watching, and if you like this kind of content, kindly leave us a like, share the video, and subscribe to the channel for more stories like this. Thank you.